Hey, welcome to the 9th episode in the Restoring Aquina project. Right now I'm working on this wooden skiff and not Aquina. It's been abnormally cold the past week and also really windy. And I want to get this boat going. I worked on it a bit in the fall, and I think I'm going to use it as my tender. It's a little bit big, but it's what I have, and I really like the look of this boat. So I've been finishing up the different repairs and replacements that I had to do, and so now I'm just going to walk you through what I've done so far. So the work on the skiff started last summer, and here you can see us ripping down some mahogany to replace the gunnels. And so we glued and screwed those on, and I really like those. And then I took out all the seats and anything that I was replacing. So that was pretty much it for the work that I did in the fall. And then I picked it back up this past week, and here you can see me doing the final fit up on the piece that goes into the bow. And then I reattached all the knees and supports, and as well as the seats, and I added those small pieces of mahogany on the outside to help support the seats. And this is the final fit up of that piece in the bow. So now I'm moving on to just kind of prepping for paint. I filled in all of the old holes for the knees. They were attached with just like tacks, and so I switched them over to screws. Then I scraped down the hole to get off any loose bits of the paint that's peeling. I didn't want to like fully sand it because I really think that part of the character of this boat is the saltiness that it has and the age that it has. So I think with the fresh coat of paint, it'll be the right mix of new and fresh with old and salty. Well, I gave her a quick vacuum and a light sand, and then I did all the bright work. It looks really good. I'm going to give you guys some close-ups. Then I went back over to the boat to start cutting out the rotten core underneath the cockpit. Alright, I'm finally done with cutting out that piece. This is the fiberglass that I removed. I was actually surprised how symmetrical my cut was and square, because it was really hard to draw the line under there and find a reference. And then it was probably another about hour and a half of, I used like a big screwdriver and just scraped off all of the old balsa core. Where I had drawn the holes to test the core, that was like the area that was the most wet. So that stuff I could just scrape out with my hands. But further I went down, it was still very wet, but it was a lot more solid. So it was a lot harder to get out, but it's out. And then I went in like about an inch or 2 inches around the cut I made, so that I'll be able to push the new plywood in, and that'll have something to grab on. There we have all the core that I scraped out, and there's the cut. So I have a nice little space here that I've cut out. Alright, this is all of the balsa core. It's all like chunks about that size. Most of it at this point is just shred. After that, I vacuumed out all of the fiberglass dust and any of the core that I hadn't gotten. And then I cleaned inside the boat with some simple green in the head, and then around the cockpit and underneath the winches. And then that night I took home the whisker pole and boom and started to take a look at those. So this cable connects to the pin down there to open up that little clip, and then the cable running to this pin broke, so that definitely needs to be replaced. And then the screws holding this piece in sheared, so I'm gonna have to drill those out and redo those. And this connects to your line or whatever through this ring, something like that. I'll probably just replace all the cables. I'm gonna try and get these pins moving now and start hitting it with penetrating oil. So I've been playing around with different setups for an arm to support that central piece for the V-berth cushions, and this one I'm actually liking. I used an old latch that we had, and then a really short lag, and on this side I just used these two little brackets that I had, and then so it pivots on there, and on the boat it would close that way, but here this is in the way, so I'm gonna open it this way. You pop it up and then it swings out, and then you just push it down in and it locks in. Next, I brought home the drawers from the boat and started emptying those out. And this one had just kind of some different manuals and repair kits, the bell, and some different winch handles. I also wanted to show you a couple other projects I did. The door is all glued up. I just varnished the ensign post, or the flag pole that goes off the stern, and then I also put finish on the piece of woodwork that goes underneath the traveler. I also made this little rail sort of thing that will go in the port berth, between the berth and the hull, to make a little cubby for things to store in. I used some scrap pieces of teak that I was given, and then I mortised in these upright pieces, and then I spent a decent number of hours doing this Turk's head and half hitch design along two rungs, and I think I'll go into more detail about doing that rope work in another video, but I hadn't done anything like that in a little while, and so I was a little rusty, so I wanted to make sure I had it down before I started doing any video of that. Alright, that's going to be it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Be sure to keep an eye out for a video that I'll be posting this weekend. It's going to be a short film that me and a friend of mine have been working on for a while, and I really hope you enjoy it. So, yeah.